this past week was something that really came to my mind that, hey, Nick, you might need to take a step back because everything that I was doing was not genuinely making me happy. What is going on, my friend? Welcome back to the Morning Takeaway with me, Nick Walker. I want to be pretty quick today and just kind of share a little story with you and self-realizations that I was having. It's actually Monday morning. This will come out on a Thursday, but golly, I freaking love Mondays. I always put it on my story. It's a new week. It's a new day, new opportunities. And I feel like the connotation around Mondays is just so like, oh God, Monday, here we go, right? I get so excited for Mondays because there's a new plan in place. There's new things and ways to be productive. And I won't go on a whole spiel about that, but I'm just super excited because it's Monday. I feel good. It's a great day to be alive. And I want to rewire the idea and connotation around Mondays. But hey, before we get into today about balance, if you take something away from this podcast, you think something's valuable, maybe it resonates with you, if you don't mind sharing this with somebody, like it, comment on it, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, just if you have a takeaway, share it. That's the biggest way you can repay me. As I always say, if somebody could get behind a camera and a mic and change my life, then I hope that I could potentially have some kind of impact on somebody else as well. So that being said, I appreciate you, and we're going to get into a little life talk, and on the topic of life talks, not to be salesy here, but I did just release my one-on-one calls. If you would like to do one-on-one calls, there's a 15-minute option, 30-minute option. I'd love to get on there and connect with you. I think it's a super awesome way that I can start integrating just like real-life connection, and I'm super pumped about that, to be able to connect with people on a different level. So if you would like to do that, I'll leave the link in the description, and if you're on my app, it's on the Insights tab, book a one-on-one call. So anyways, let's get into it. I don't know if you guys can hear this squeaky chair, but it's terrible. I need some freaking WD-40. But anyway, so I want to talk about balance today. And before we get going, I'll read the quote. Balance is not something you find. It is something you create. And that is something that has really resonated with me the past couple days. And I think it really hit me this morning and last night, as yesterday was National Ice Cream Day, and I took my happy butt right to the Atomic Creamery, Fashion Island in Newport Beach, and got 3 scoops of ice cream. And I enjoyed every single freaking second of it. But why do I tell you that? I tell you that because literally within that day, in that past week, I felt like I may be getting a little too in to my own head. And what I mean by that is I was obsessing over health. And I get it. I live everything health and fitness and wellness, and I preach it, and it's my profession, right? And what I studied for 6 years. But on a different level, I think there's a fine line between healthy obsession and being obsessed with something, right? And I'm super obsessed. Don't get me wrong, but this past week was something that really came to my mind that, hey, Nick, you might need to take a step back because everything that I was doing was not genuinely making me happy. Not everything, because I enjoy a lot of things, but I was definitely getting to a point where it was like for example, I'm reading this book right now. It's called Game Changers, and it's all about biohacking and how to level up your sleep, level up your performance, your movements, your nutrition, everything, and it's great. And I just take all these mental notes, and I want to soak up all this knowledge, and I want to apply, but you can't apply 1,000 things at once. You can't apply the 37 things that I've learned and written down in my journal at once. You have to take it one step at a time and see what works. If there's something new that you want to implement into your routine, maybe change something up, get excited about it the next day. I had different coffee this morning. I was super pumped about it. It was Four Sigmatic coffee. It was like mushroom blend, not an ad, but it was incredible. There's so many benefits to mushrooms. But anyways, you have to find those things that you want to implement to get you excited, right? But backtracking a little, I was getting overwhelmed so much to the point that I want to be the best I can and apply. And I was getting to a point where it felt like I could do no right. And the quality of life starts to deteriorate when that obsession becomes a little bit too much, right? And I think what it was for me was a sense of like, hey, we're not rewarding ourselves. And those quote unquote rewards are bad or they're unhealthy, right? And that is not a healthy way to live your life. And I'm telling you that from my experience this past week, as I was feeling like crappy. I was getting really too into my sleep. And these are all things you should do, like not obsess, but tracking your sleep and trying to make these conscious, healthy decisions. But where I'm coming from is it shouldn't be an obsession. You shouldn't get so honed in on it. You should make it a discipline and a routine, so much so that you are disciplined to do it and it becomes part of you, but not so much to where it controls your life. And I think that's kind of where I was getting. And the great thing about this is I'm able to realize this, and as I say this, it sounds like kind of boasting, but I just want to put that perspective out there for those of you that might feel like there's something in your life that you know, maybe it's a reward for you to not go out on a Friday night or not go out on a Saturday night because you feel pressured. There's definitely little things that go into it, right? But I'm just telling you this perspective because I don't want other people to get into these ways and obsess over things and let it control them, right? So finding that balance is, in my opinion, kind of a myth. Like the quote says, like you don't find the balance, you have to create it. You have to make the wise decision. I don't know if wise is the right word, but you have to make the decision, the conscious decision to say, hey, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to assess where I'm at, and I'm going to apply these things little by little to get to where I want to go. And I think what helped for me in this moment, I was, still kind of living in that, like, I've been trying, journaling about it the past 4 days, just kind of trying to get back to where I know where I feel great. And I'm definitely there right now, like headspace mentally. I know I'm feeling good when the brain fog is not there anymore. And you feel that clarity. You feel ready to go in the morning. You feel a little bit more oomph, right? And, I think the self-realization from this morning and journaling for the past 4 days and getting glimpses of that momentum to create the progress, which in my opinion creates happiness, that all culminates to self-awareness and self not discipline, but self-accountability and reflection. And if you're able to get to that point where you can be that self-aware, I think it's one of your greatest skills in life. And for me, like recognizing this morning, I was up at 4 a.m., 4:30. Like my first alarm went off at 4:15, 4 a.m., got out of bed by 4:30. And it hit me in my workout at 6:30. I went on a walk, did my journaling, read a little, and it hit me in my workout like, hey, dude, you need to chill out. Because you just had ice cream last night, you rewarded yourself, you enjoyed it, and now you're back doing the same thing. And that I'm saying this in a good way. Because you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have your ice cream and go back to it the next day. It is healthy to create that balance in saying, hey, I can have this ice cream once a week, or I can have this cheat meal twice a week. I like to limit my cheat meals twice a week. As long as we're still putting in the work, right? The second that I know I've done it, go get hammered one Saturday night, I'm out for the count for 5 days. Mentally, physically, I'm probably done the second day. I'm still going to go on my walk, but it happens to us, right? And how do we take that and keep building on each other, right? I think you have to create that balance between, hey, I am going all out. I am going one thing to the next. I'm taking it slow in the moment because slow creates fast. And then I'm rewarding myself when the time is right. Now, today's Monday, Go Monday. And I had my ice cream last night on Sunday. I probably will stick to my discipline that I'll probably go about 3 or 4 days without a cheat meal just because I know that's in my body, whatever. It sounds like I'm obsessing over it and I could probably be a little bit of a hypocrite, but that's the way I live my lifestyle. And to me, if I can have one single reward, one serving of 3 scoops of ice cream a week, that's a reward to me and it genuinely feels fulfilling. I think the biggest takeaway for me through all this was that whole idea that I was getting controlled by it so much that everything that I did, which was great, and within the realm and within the scope of practice and within what I want to do and value to myself with movement, that it started to feel like I could do no right? And I mentioned that earlier, but I think getting to that point and recognizing it is single-handedly probably one of your biggest weapons in life if you can get there, right? And how do you do that? I think it's a culmination of things. It's what makes you feel good. It's taking note of, little things like, hey, I created a plan today and I went and checked off each box on my list and I struck it through. I'm proving my self-confidence to myself, right? I'm proving to myself that I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. Like Joe Rogan always talks about it. Like if you're in a rut, make a schedule and stick to it. Go through it line by line, cross it off, roll with it, and you're good, right? So you're good, but what that does is it creates that self-confidence. And I've hit on this before, but I think for me, genuinely, that is something that really, really directs my day in the sense that, hey, Nick, that little voice in your head, you got to do this. Not you got to, but you get to. And once you get done with it, you're going to strike it through and say, hey, I did that. Now I'm going to reward myself by taking a 10-minute break, go on a walk, whatever it is. So whatever it is for you that makes you feel good and those little practices, I encourage you to implement those. And if you're having trouble with them and you want to brainstorm, like I said, you can book a one-on-one call. I'd love to talk about that kind of stuff, just life in general. These calls don't even have to be like from a workout plan perspective. I'm here to answer any questions and help any way I can. But before we close this thing out, I'll do my random question for the day. Here we go. What's something commonly do today? What's something commonly do today that you think people will wonder why anyone would ever do? What's something you do commonly? They completely screwed this up, but I think what it's asking is, what's something you commonly do today that you think people would wonder why you would ever do that 50 years from now? I think my first initial thought is, why would you work out for over 200 minutes a day? And my answer to you is because it makes me feel good. And that's all that matters. Just like I said, kind of ties it all together, I guess. But that's what makes me feel good. I love doing it. I love sweating. I love getting my endorphins on. I love doing anything I can to improve, right? And I hope that's something that continues as you listen to these podcasts for you, right? And what you can take away to do on a common basis that people might judge you. Not judge, but have a different point of view or ask you why you're doing it in 50 years, So with that said, I went a little longer than I wanted to, but I hope you could sit here for 12 minutes and listen to me ramble on to myself. But if there's anything you took away, drop it in the comments, leave a comment, like it, subscribe for me, and send it to somebody that you love or care about or whatever it may be. That's what it's all about to me. Spreading love, spreading the point of view, the perspective, and yeah, I'm happy to get on here and provide some kind of perspective. So anyways, it is a Monday. You're going to listen to this probably on a Thursday. Whatever day you listen to this, get out there, have a great freaking day, and don't forget to smile.